Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you guys about the vintage fragrances in my collection. But first, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Maiti. I review fragrances and products. I love all things that smell good. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and click the little notification bell so you'll be notified anytime I upload a new video. I upload every Monday or Wednesday at 4. So I get a lot of questions about the vintage perfumes in my collection, like where I find them, how I can tell, when they were formulated and if they're legit and all of that. And it is risky, especially when you buy from places like eBay, which is where I got most of these. I think all of these actually. It is risky, so I would say definitely do your research, your own research. Yeah, I'm not going to link anything because I don't want to, guarantee that you're going to be able to get these perfumes and that they're going to be legit, because they can vary from one purchase to another. All right, first one on my list, Mitsoko by Guerlain. And I know this one's from 1985 because I was able to look up the batch code, and also by the box design. I like to get them with the boxes because I can verify even more, and I can narrow down exactly when they were formulated. So that's, something that I personally prefer. The batch code on the bottle should match the batch code on the box. If it doesn't, then it's probably not legit. But yes, it's missing the cap because my daughter lost it, but not because it came without it. And I was introduced to this one by Ruth, from Ruth All Things Beauty, and hers was also vintage. I'm not sure when hers was from, but it does smell very similar. I haven't smelled the new formulation, so I can't tell you if there's a huge difference. I do know this is amazing. It's a gorgeous floral, fruity sheep, and it's just so rich and just luxurious and gorgeous, deep, just very, very deep perfume. Potent as hell, but it's gorgeous. It's peach and smoky, oak moss, and it's gorgeous. So that was my first vintage love. Then I had Opium from 2011 in a different bottle, but then I was like, you know what, let me try a vintage Opium, and I got this one, and I'm pretty sure it came with a box. It may not have, but it does have the batch code, which I was able to verify. I can tell by the bottle design. This one's from the 80s. There was a reputable seller. I look for reviews, make sure they have a recent, good review history, not something from 6+ months ago, that they have recently made sales and have good reviews. So that's important too. But yeah, you can also find these on Mercari. I've seen a few of them. OfferUp, that's a good one. Those are a little bit harder to verify, but it's a risk. So if you do want to hunt some of these down and you're willing to take the risk, then by all means go for it. This is just my experience with buying vintage. The things that I've learned to look for. There's a variety of things, a combination of things. So it's not one thing. I do look for several things. So style of the bottle, batch code. Those are two things I was able to compare. It smells similar, but this one is so much more refined. It's darker. More of the amber comes through. More of that smoky, incense quality comes through. It's not as harsh in the opening. There's a lot of harshness in the new formulation. At least mine from the 2011, I had to wait for the dry down, and they don't even dry down the same. It smells a lot more synthetic. This one smells just better quality. So I was able to smell the difference between the new formulation of Opium, the Eau de Toilette, and the vintage. So I prefer the vintage. That is Opium, Eau de Toilette by YSL. Next up, and I was sent some more samples by a perfume friend, and he got me hooked on a couple of these, mainly the Balmain. This is Jolie Madame. These are actually expensive, so I only got little baby bottles of them, And the reason I got a really good price on this one is because the cap is kind of broken, which I don't mind really. I know it was legit. It has the cute little bow. It happens, but oh my Lord. This is another sheep. It's like a leathery sheep. A lot of these are actually sheep. The Mitsoko one was, this one is. There's a couple that aren't, but you guys know how much I love sheep style perfumes. Yeah, this is gorgeous. Leathery sheep. It smells beautiful. It is, the parfum is so potent. I like to layer them, so I'll put a little bit of the parfum and then I'll, you know, splash on some of the eau de toilette. Another thing is, you know, I try to either go for like an eau de toilette or a parfum. Well, eau de parfums are a little bit newer. They're not going to be as vintage. So that's just what I've learned. So yes, Jolie Madame. I have the parfum and the eau de toilette. Gorgeous, gorgeous leathery sheep. On the expensive side, the vintage ones. So I do have little baby ones. So I use these sparingly, but they're super cute and they smell amazing. Oh, and the box looks like this. It came, well, my daughter picked at it, but the box was all messed up for the parfum. But it came like this. Actually, let me show you the other one. This is the Balmain Vent Vert. And this is a perfect, ooh, it was upside down. That's Vent Vert. This is a gorgeous take on galbanum. If you like galbanum and you want to smell a perfume that is galbanum centric, God, this is so good, you guys. Like green, so green, but like in a very like rich and just intoxicating kind of way. Like not like no green I've smelled before. It's like this sharp green, fresh, but also little, there's like a little bit of smoke in there. God, that's beautiful. Yeah. There might be neroli in there. I should probably look up some notes. So there is neroli. It was a blind buy. I'm so happy with it. I really want to hunt down the eau de toilette, but like I said, these Balmain ones are a little bit more on the expensive side. Another thing to look for vintage are these odd quantities, volumes. Next, vintage love. Now, I fell so hard over this one. So hard that I bought a little baby one and this one. Now, these are all partial bottles because that's what I was able to find for a good price. You know, I don't want to like spend all my money on these. And then I was able to find, this was almost full. This was like 95% full. So I've used quite a bit of that. And I got it back. This is the eau de toilette. And look how gorgeous. Okay, so this one came with its bottle. I mean, with its box. So I was able to verify. And then what I was talking about volumes, this is 54 mLs. So that's not a quantity that you normally see now. And this one, I believe, was from the 70s. Same thing with this one. The Houndstooth box, the Houndstooth bottle, that kind of dates it as well. But yeah, this quantity is 112 cc's. And again, like a very obscure, you know, quantity, not like your normal 100 ml, 30 ml, 60 ml. So that kind of dates it as well. Look how this one's in such pristine condition with the bow in its box. This was brand new. God, these are so beautiful. And then the these are the eau de toilettes. And then the parfums, which are expensive. God, they're so good. This is a floral sheep Miss Dior vintages. Now, it is nothing like the new formulation. The new formulation is so just like floral heavy. And this one is soapy, but in such a perfect way. I don't like soapy fragrances, but the florals in here are a little soapy, but there's like smokiness and depth and just everything. God, it smells so feminine to me. It's like what a woman should smell like all the time. One of my favorite perfumes, hands down, top 10 for life. The vintage is amazing. So that's that. The last one that I've been into, and this was a blind buy, and you know, I had seen a few peeps talking about this. I was eyeballing it for a while, and God, that Vent Verte, you guys, that is good stuff. If you're not into green fragrances, but you want to like get into them, that Vent Verte is amazing. Vent Verte. That is good. That's all I smell. It's so potent. These Perfumes by Balmain are so potent. All right, sorry. I have to like, I keep sniffing that. Okay, so I hate the new formulation of Chanel No. 5. Don't like it at all. It smells like so powdery in like a bathroom, and just, I don't like it. But I was researching. Oh my goodness. Well, that's very old. You can tell it's old because it's like, I don't know, the juice has darkened so much. Okay. So I was researching as far as Chanel, vintage Chanels. Prior to the 1920s, the O on the No. 5, and I'll try to get real close, has a dot on it. I hope it's focusing. Has a dot underneath it. And that's how you can tell if your Chanel, vintage Chanel, is from the 1920s, around there. So this one's from the 1920s. It didn't come with a box, but I could tell from that dot. I look for my bottles being engraved, especially like the Chanel one, the Christian Dior ones, the Balmain one is. I look for engraving on the glass. So that's very important as well. I was duped on eBay once for a Coco Chanel, and it didn't have the engraving on the glass. It smelled watered down. Yeah, it was the Coco Noir, and it had, like, Chanel bottles are one piece of glass, and this bottle had lines, like lines where the glass was like, you know, I guess molded together. You could just tell it was fake. So that's something, you know, again, you have to kind of like research, but this bottle is engraved. There are no like lines, you know, where the bottle was put together. It's great. It's great. And and the smell. Okay. I'm a fan of Chanel No. 5. Vintage. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance. It smells a little bit powdery, musky. There's a little bit of an animalic quality. It's so good. Clean, soapy. Just a beautiful fragrance, you guys. Classic scent. I know Marilyn Monroe wore it. That's the Parfum. I was able to find an eau de toilette. And this one, I'm sure, is from the 50s. Based on, not from the 20s. It doesn't have the dot on the O of number there. So it's not, you know, from the 20s, but I believe it's from the 50s based on the quantity. It's 118 ml. That is etched into the bottle. The bottle is also engraved with Chanel. It has the cap. This one's a splash. And a lot of these are splash bottles, you guys. Some of the older ones, like from like my Miss Dior ones, are splash bottles, and that's just the way things were back then. Some of these don't have atomizers, and that's okay with me. I don't mind. I'm getting used to these splash bottles. But this No. 5 eau de toilette, oh God, it's everything. So it's not as deep and rich as the Parfum, but it's, you know, the same DNA. It's more like when it dries down. This one's perfect for bedtime. Like, I want my skin to smell like this all the time. It's so clean, and it's not overly soapy like I feel like the new formulation is. It's overly powdery, overly soapy. It just doesn't smell the same, you guys. It really doesn't. And this came with the box, so I was able to verify the same batch code is on the bottle and the box. Each house has its own like timeline of when changes were made, so that's why that Raiders of a Lost Scent blog website is good, because it tells you when those changes were made. So like the address on the Christian Dior boxes were changed after a certain year. Barcodes and green dots were used after a certain year, usually like after the 90s. So things like that you'd have to look for. But yeah, when you find a good one, man, it's so like satisfying. I wanted to share with you some fails so that you know what to look for. Now, obviously, this is not the only thing. I'm just sharing my experience. So I got duped with a Coco Noir. This is actually a legitimate bottle. I was able to send the fake bottle back, and I actually had to pay, the full price. I was able to use a discount code, I think, at Sephora. But new Chanel's are not something I would buy off of eBay. There's a lot of fakers on there. But what I noticed, why I noticed it was fake, was the seal thing that's around the head of the cap. That was coming off. And this, you can tell, it's pretty on there. I don't think that's going to come off. It's not like a sticker. The other one was like a sticker. And that was coming off like this ribbon part. Yeah, so that was no bueno. Also, there was like lines. There was like a line across the back where the bottle had been like glued together. There was not that etched batch code number here. That's etched into the bottle there. It didn't have the etched information on the bottom. That was like a sticker. So yeah, things to look for. Another one I got duped on was a Bal Versailles Eau de Cologne I had purchased that I thought was vintage. And if the box looks legit, I think the box is legit. Pretty sure the box is legit. The box looks good, right? There's that, 57 mLs, that weird amount. So that all checked out. But then I opened the actual box and looked at the bottle, right? Because the bottle should match the box as far as like the code and everything. Well, I don't know. Okay, the bottle says Eau Bal Versailles, and the box says Bal Versailles Eau de Cologne. So that didn't match, which I was like, oh, that's weird. Also, the label is off. It's like crooked. So that was not good. Also, nothing that indicates that the bottle matches the box as far as like the batch code, the amount. The label's off. The label doesn't even match the label on the box. So yeah, that was off. I was able to get my money back on this one too, thankfully. It smells okay. I don't know what Bal Versailles smells like, to be honest. I haven't smelled it, so I can't tell. But I know that that looks funny, and I'm not gonna trust that at all. That's it, you guys. That is my little guide to some vintage. Now I'm just like dipping my toes into this. I'm not spending a whole bunch of money. I do a lot of research. I know I can fall really deep into that rabbit hole. I'm trying not to, because it can get expensive. People ask for a lot of money for some of these vintage perfumes, but if you're able to find a good one, if it's something that, you've researched, it's, you're pretty sure it's legit, if you have some kind of like security as far as being able to return it, I hope this video was helpful and it can like help you make that decision. Let me know in the comments what you think, what vintage perfumes you love, where you buy your vintage perfumes from. I told you, where I buy mine from is like eBay, Mercari, sometimes OfferUp. Not as much on OfferUp, but you may get lucky. I would look. I haven't really looked at like Facebook or anything like that. So yeah, let me know. Let me know where you buy yours from and what your favorite vintage perfume is. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and click the little notification bell so you can be notified anytime I upload a new video. Have a good one, you guys. Mwah. Verify, hair in my mouth.